there were 65 buildings taller than 20 stories. By 1908, there
In this video, we dive deep into the inspiring life of Jentezen Franklin, a renowned pastor and motivational speaker whose childhood shaped his resilient spirit and unwavering faith. From growing up in a close-knit, faith-driven family in North Carolina to becoming a global spiritual leader, Franklin's journey is one of perseverance, devotion, and love. But his story doesn't stop there. We also explore the deeply personal and challenging chapter of his battle with thyroid cancer, where he showed the world the true power of faith, resilience, and community. Join us as we uncover the life behind the leader. Early life, a foundation built on faith. Born on July 21, 1962, in Wilson, North Carolina, Jentezen Franklin came into the world as the fifth child of Billy and Katie Franklin. His parents, devout Christians, were pillars of their community, with Billy Franklin serving as a pastor and spiritual guide to many. From an early age, Jentezen was surrounded by the love of a close-knit family and a deep sense of spiritual purpose. His childhood was rooted in the teachings of the Christian faith, and he was raised with the understanding that faith, family, and community were the cornerstones of a fulfilling life. Growing up in a pastor's home meant that Jentezen's life revolved around the church. Sunday services, prayer meetings, Bible studies, and church events were regular parts of his life, with each moment reinforcing his family's unwavering commitment to ministry. It wasn't just the Sundays that mattered, but the way faith was lived out every day of the week in every aspect of life. From a young age, Jentezen was able to witness firsthand the challenges and rewards of leading a congregation. His father, a humble and dedicated pastor, was a living example of servant leadership. Through his father's example, Jentezen learned the importance of humility, patience, and the significance of serving others with a pure heart. His father's dedication to ministry showed Jentezen that true leadership wasn't about power, but about guiding others with love, understanding, and a deep commitment to God's will. However, despite the spiritual richness that surrounded him, Jentezen's childhood wasn't without its challenges. His family lived modestly, and there were times when they struggled to make ends meet. Yet these financial hardships became some of the most formative experiences in young Jentezen's life. He learned at an early age to trust in God's provision, in the value of perseverance, gratitude, and a deep reliance on faith. The Franklin family never saw these struggles as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and for learning how to lean on God in times of uncertainty. A deep love for music and creativity. One of the key passions that blossomed in Jentezen's early years was music. He discovered a natural talent for playing the saxophone, which became a significant outlet for his creativity. His musical abilities were honed during his school years, where he participated in local bands and performances. For Jentezen, music became not just an artistic outlet, but also a way to connect with others on a deeper level. His love for music would later play a pivotal role in his ministry, where he would incorporate worship music as a way to draw people closer to God. Through his musical journey, Jentezen also learned the power of expression. Music became a means of communicating emotions that words alone could not fully capture. This skill would serve him well as he later developed his preaching style, combining his love for the arts with his passion for spreading the gospel. Music wasn't just a hobby for Jentezen. It became a tool for ministry, helping people connect with God through worship and praise. Teenage years, navigating faith and doubt. Like many teenagers, Jentezen faced moments of doubt and uncertainty during his formative years. Growing up in a world full of distractions and temptations, he began to grapple with questions about his purpose and identity. Despite the strong foundation of faith instilled in him by his parents, there were times when Jentezen struggled to reconcile the teachings of his childhood with the realities of the world around him. These were the years when he sought to understand his own calling in life. While he knew he had a deep connection to his faith, he was still searching for the path that would lead him toward his true purpose. Many young people face similar internal conflicts during their teenage years, and Jentezen was no different. Yet it was during this time of introspection that he found the clarity and direction that would shape the course of his life. A pivotal moment came when Jentezen attended a revival service as a young man. It was at this event that he experienced a profound spiritual encounter that changed the trajectory of his life. In that moment, he felt a deep connection with God and a clear calling to dedicate his life to ministry. This spiritual awakening gave him the clarity he needed, not only to follow in his father's footsteps, but to forge his own path in spreading the message of hope, redemption, and salvation. Jentezen's childhood and teenage years were marked by the combination of spiritual richness, personal struggle, and the unshakable support of his family. The lessons he learned during this time would go on to become the foundation of his ministry, as he later became known for his powerful preaching, his commitment to faith, and his deep connection to his community. The battle with thyroid cancer. Faith tested. While Jentezen Franklin's life has been marked by success in ministry and service, he is not immune to the challenges that life brings. In a deeply personal and emotional chapter of his life, Jentezen faced a battle with thyroid cancer, a health crisis that shook him to his core and tested his faith in ways he had never experienced before. It all began subtly. As the senior pastor of Free Chapel, a multi-campus church that reaches thousands of people worldwide, Jentezen's days were filled with an endless array of responsibilities. His life was fast-paced, filled with preaching, writing, traveling, and supporting others. Amidst this whirlwind of activity, Jentezen began noticing a persistent hoarseness in his voice, coupled with slight discomfort in his neck. At first, he dismissed it as a minor concern, likely the result of his busy lifestyle. However, as the symptoms continued, he realized that something more serious might be at play. A visit to the doctor confirmed his worst fears. Jentezen was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. The news was a shock to him and his family. As someone who had spent his entire life offering words of encouragement and hope to others, facing a cancer diagnosis was a humbling and frightening experience. The news of cancer, a disease that evokes fear and uncertainty, forced Jentezen to confront his own mortality. This diagnosis was not just a physical ailment. It was a spiritual and emotional challenge that tested Jentezen's faith in profound ways. As someone who had devoted his life to preaching faith and resilience, he now found himself in a position where he needed to rely on the very principles he had spent years teaching others. It was a sobering reminder that even spiritual leaders are not exempt from life's struggles and uncertainties. The power of faith and community. Throughout this difficult period, Jentezen was supported by his family, his church community, and his unwavering faith. His wife, Charisse, stood by his side, offering comfort and strength during the emotional roller coaster of diagnosis, treatment, and recovery. Their children, who had grown up in a household rooted in faith, rallied around their father with love, support, and prayers. The Free Chapel congregation, along with Christians around the world, offered an outpouring of support, holding prayer vigils, and sending messages of hope. The power of community was evident in those days, as Jentezen was not only ministering to others, but also receiving the love and encouragement of those who had been touched by his own ministry. In the sterile environment of the hospital, where medical machines hummed constantly and the days felt long, Jentezen found solace in his faith. His hospital room became a space for deep reflection, where he could seek comfort in Scripture and draw close to God. He found strength in verses like Isaiah 41:10, which reads, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." These words became a lifeline for Jentezen as he faced the uncertainties of surgery and treatment, a testimony of resilience and hope. Jentezen's surgery, though routine, carried significant risks, particularly regarding his voice, the instrument through which he had spent his life spreading the message of hope. The fear of losing his ability to speak, to preach, and to lead was a daunting prospect. Yet he shared his fears openly with his family and congregation, asking for prayers not only for healing, but also for courage and peace. The surgery was a success, and Jentezen's recovery began with cautious optimism. However, the healing process wasn't just physical, it was also emotional and spiritual. This period of recovery forced him to slow down, reflect on his life, and reevaluate his priorities. It was a time of vulnerability and transformation. As Jentezen shared his journey with his followers, his battle with thyroid cancer became a powerful testimony of resilience, hope, and the sustaining power of faith. His transparency about his struggles resonated deeply with his congregation. many of whom had faced similar battles with illness and adversity. Through his example, Jentezen showed that even in our weakest moments, we can find strength through God and the support of those who love us. Today, as Jentezen Franklin continues to recover and heal, his story is not just one of personal struggle, it is a testament to the transformative power of faith and the importance of community. His journey is a powerful reminder that in our darkest moments, we can find strength in God's love and grace, and that even the greatest challenges can be overcome with faith, perseverance, and the support of those around us. Jentezen Franklin's story is one of grace, resilience, and the enduring power of faith, a journey that continues to inspire millions around the world.